It's here, ladies and gentlemen, it's here. We got the new trailer for Spider-Man Brand New Day. Yes, I know we got it last week with a big red X across it on Twitter, but now we have the unleaked version. The leak has been und. So let's get right into it and start talking about this thing. The first thing I gotta say is I am just so happy that we got through the main trailers for this movie. The teaser trailer, the official trailer, and yeah, they might still do like a final trailer before the movie comes out, but we've gotten through the two main trailers for this film, and they haven't given away too much about this movie. Because at this point, it's still pretty unclear what exactly this movie is gonna be about. I mean, dude, Sadie Sink hasn't even been shown yet, and I just really appreciate that. I appreciate that they're like, yeah, this is a Spider-Man movie. We already know people are gonna see it. We don't need to give stuff away, and they're letting us go into this movie and experience that for the first time in theaters. Thank you. Now, what's getting really clear with this trailer is it seems a lot of this movie is going to be focused on this mutation thing that's happening with Peter. We saw a little bit of that in the first trailer, but here it's clear that this is going to be a real central part of the film, as we see him with the black eyes, where he seems to be losing control of what he's doing, maybe getting into like very angry states, and maybe he's not pulling his punches, which for Spider-Man, that's not good. And we even see the organic webbing coming out of the suit, so he is fully evolving, and probably by the end of this movie, we can expect him to be in a different state in terms of his powers, his abilities, and just what he can do. And I do kind of wonder and honestly hope that this mutation storyline is not just cool in the sense of it's changing his powers and abilities, but I have a feeling that this could really lean into like the representation of the internal struggle that Peter's going to be going on in this movie. Where I'm wondering if things like the black eyes and all of that could just be like a representation in the movie of the anger that Peter now has. Kind of similar to like Spider-Man 3, where Tobey got the black suit, which made him act different, but it was also representative of the anger that Peter was feeling in his life, and how that black suit in that movie kind of became a physical representation of that. And in this movie, with how alone Peter feels in his life, and the sense that the movie's gonna be a journey of Peter becoming physically reborn into a different spider, it could also be about how Peter's life is being reborn, and he's relearning essentially how to live now that he's in the stage where he doesn't have friends, he doesn't have people in his life, and it really is a movie of reinvention. So I think that could be really cool. Now we see Scorpion at the beginning of the trailer, and I know we're all excited that they're finally bringing him back after the post-credit scene of Homecoming, but the more footage that we're getting, I'm starting to feel like Scorpion might just be in this movie in like an opening fight scene. Like I get the feeling that he might just be part of the initial sort of rogue of bad guys that Peter's gonna be taking on in this movie when we're maybe catching up with him, and maybe even when we see him lose control of his powers for the first time. So I know a lot of us are really excited to see him back, but just based on what we're getting here, I don't get the feeling that he's going to be a very big part of this movie or anything like the focus here. I also like how Tom Holland decided to take a quick detour in this trailer and crash into Zendaya's other movie from earlier this year. Just checking in like a good boyfriend. Now the threat for this movie, they're saying, is one we can't control, it's one we can't even see, and obviously everyone seems to think this is Sadie Sink's character, who we're all gonna assume is playing Jean Grey, but it is interesting how exactly that fits into this movie, because obviously we know Jean Grey long-term is not a villainous character, so if she's the one doing all this stuff, if she's the one who's acting as the main foil for Spider-Man in this movie, is she being controlled by someone? Is she being forced to do this? Like, what exactly is going on? I'm very curious, and again, I'm glad they're not telling us shit about it. Also, really interesting that they're saying Peter is the only one immune to it, where if this is some sort of like control that Sadie Sink's character is able to have over other people, why is she not able to have it over Peter? Like, what specifically is it about Peter's powers? Like, is it because he got that Spidey sense? Is it because he has that Peter tingle? Does that allow him to sense it coming and stop it before it happens? I mean, I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but I did think that was interesting that somehow he's immune. And I also just think the visual of these powers is very cool. Like, I just love seeing this entity or mind control just switching from person to person, where Peter is talking to a dude on the street, and then it switches to another person, then switches to another person. And yeah, we did see this in the first teaser where Peter ripped open that truck and the old lady was just sitting inside. So obviously we know there's some mind control going on here, but man, I just think that's gonna be so cool to see in the movie. And I can't be the only person who, when that first guy said, "Yo, Spider-Man.
Yo, Spider-Man,"
I heard Shameik Moore's voice. I was like, Miles Morales? No, it's not Miles Morales. But you heard it too. Now, obviously, MJ and Ned are back in this movie, and I've spoken about this in other videos, but this is definitely one of the parts of this film that I am most concerned about, because I'm such a big fan of the ending of No Way Home and how Peter makes the sacrifice to essentially remove himself from their lives. And while I'm okay with MJ and Ned being back in this movie, I just don't want them to backtrack on the ending of No Way Home and ultimately undo it. Because I just feel if Peter backtracks in this movie and decides, you know what, I'm just gonna go back into their lives and not keep my promise that I made to myself at the end of the last movie, I just feel like that would really ruin the ending of No Way Home, and it would show that Peter didn't learn his lesson. Because the whole point of him removing himself from their lives is because he realized he puts them in danger. So to me, I'm interested to see how they handle that storyline, because I really hope they're not just walking it back. Okay, next thing we gotta talk about, the Hulk is back. The Hulk is back. And that's a great thing. I mean, it's not complicated. The Hulk is a fun character, and we like to see him hulking. And it's been too long. We haven't seen Hulk be Hulk in terms of like angry rage Hulk since Age of Ultron? So it's good to see him back, and it'll be interesting to see if he and Spider-Man end up teaming up in this film to fight a greater threat, or if Hulk will just be something that Peter ends up having to somehow subdue so that he could get back to fighting this mysterious invisible force without the two of them ever teaming up per se. Yeah, and ultimately guys, with this trailer, the main thing, like I said in the beginning, is that going into this film, it still feels like so much is unknown, because at the end of the trailer, we're seeing the Hand in it, obviously Punisher has a role in it, and it still feels like it's not clear how exactly all of these pieces are going to come together. Like, how do all of these different villains factor into the story? Is Peter going to be dealing with multiple threats throughout the film, or are a lot of these threats like Scorpion, the Hand, just going to be relegated to the front of the film, and then it'll become a bit more streamlined as the movie goes on? Who knows? But the fact that we don't know is a damn good thing. So the trailer for Spider-Man Brand New Day, what did you guys think about it? I would love to know, so let me know down in the comments. And if you guys like this video and want to see another, just click somewhere on the screen to see what YouTube thinks you like, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video.